Here are today's top stories. President Duterte vows to sign the proposed 2019 national budget if it follows the Constitution. Malacanang refutes a former police officer's allegations of President Duterte coddling drug suspects. 31 celebrities are reported to be included in a watch list of personalities involved in illegal drugs. And COMELEC reminds local candidates to remove their illegal posters until Thursday before the campaign period.
Good day, I'm Rom Dulfo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Our top story, President Rodrigo Duterte now has in his hands the proposed 2019 national budget signed by Congress. President Duterte said he will sign the budget as long as its contents are consistent with the Constitution. Miguel Hill with the story.
It is now up to President Rodrigo Duterte to approve and sign the proposed 3.7 trillion peso national budget. Malacanang received the enrolled budget bill last night after being signed by Senate President Tito Soto. Soto earlier said he signed the General Appropriations Bill with reservations. Soto also appealed to Duterte to veto unconstitutional provisions amid allegations that some 75 billion pesos have been realigned by the House of Representatives to various lawmakers. For its part, Malacanang said it's up to President Duterte whether he will veto specific realignments in the budget. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo assured that if the bill is consistent with the Constitution, the President will sign it. Panelo also commended the members of Congress for submitting the 2019 budget after a series of delays, assuring the President will act on it immediately. Lawmakers went through a series of meetings to break the budget impasse, which led to the government operating on a reenacted budget. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency said it is validating information on the alleged drug links of 31 showbiz personalities. PDEA Director General Aaron Aquino says many of those in its watch list are drug users while some are pushers. He says the celebrities in the list may have been identified by their real names rather than their more popular screen names. The PDEA chief said among those in the watch list are users of ecstasy, cocaine, shabu, and other party drugs. Aquino also revealed that some of the celebrities in the list are known to portray wholesome roles. Meantime, Aquino said PDEA is focused on revalidating information on politicians allegedly involved in illegal drugs. He said once they are done with narco-politicians, they will then release the names of judges, prosecutors, celebrities, and media personalities who are confirmed to have drug links. The MMDA plans to remove all bus terminals along EDSA by June. The Metro Manila Council approved the resolution prohibiting the issuance of business permits to all public utility bus terminals and operators and other public utility vehicles along EDSA. MMDA Chairman Danilo Lim says their next move is to remove all bus terminals along EDSA and relocate them in the outskirts of the metro to minimize traffic congestion. MMDA General Manager Jose Arturo Garcia says the removal of bus terminals will improve traffic flow along EDSA as provincial buses would no longer be allowed to enter Metro Manila to load and unload passengers. The agency will recommend the closure of bus terminals by April in coordination with the Land Transportation Franchising Regulatory Board or LTFRB. Several terminals are being constructed for provincial buses originating from south and north of Metro Manila, including a terminal in Valenzuela City and one in Santa Rosa, Laguna. The Presidential Communications Operations Office, or PCOO, cites anew the importance of freedom of information, or FOI, in strengthening democracy in the country. PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar on Tuesday said freedom of information removes barriers of falsehood, with public records serving as the basis of government trust. He said President Duterte signed the first executive order on the freedom of information detailing the essence and scope of every citizen's right to access the work of government. He said reading the relevant pages of government functions strengthens the vital participatory element of democracy. Andanar, along with other officials of the PCOO, was in Legazpi City, Albay for a roadshow at the Bicol University promoting responsible reportage and ending disinformation. The military urges politicians not to ride on the issue of West Philippine Sea. and the Army hails its first female brigade commander. More on these and other stories around the metro from Joyce Kudis.
The Northern Luzon Command denies that Filipino fishermen are experiencing harassment at Bajo de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources refuted the contents of a campaign video showing fishermen being attacked by Chinese dredging ships using water cannons. Northern Luzon Commander Lieutenant General Emmanuel Salamat appealed to candidates not to use the West Philippine Sea issue for their personal interest. Salamat also assured the Navy and the Coast Guard are patrolling disputed areas. Meanwhile, an Air Force C-130 caught fire as it flew from Clark International Airport this morning. The Air Force said the right landing gear of the C-130 burst into flames while on the runway. Nobody was hurt in the incident, which is currently under investigation. In other news, the Armed Forces of the Philippines recognized Colonel Jocelyn Banderlipe, the first female to become a brigade commander of the Philippine Army. Banderlipe took over the post of commander of 53rd Engineer Brigade in a change of command ceremony at Camp Lapu-Lapu in Cebu City. Banderlipe was former commanding officer of two other construction battalions in Eastern Samar and Nasugbo, Batangas. She was also recognized as Best Battalion Commander and received the Outstanding Achievement Medal and 4 Distinguished Service Stars. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Kudis.
Still to come, Malacanang refutes a former police officer's allegations of President Duterte coddling drug suspects. The new Bangsamoro Region's Social Services Office provides aid to displaced residents in Maguindanao. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ito ang Duterte on Duty. Ulat sa ginagawa ng Presidente.
March 8, Biyernes, Negros Occidental. Ipinamahagi ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte mga Certificate of Land Ownership Award sa mahigit 2,000 magsasaka ng Barangay Kauswagan sa Sagay City.
For the remaining 3 years na ako, napamangkoy 3 years, putong yun na ako katag sa mga tao. Ang una na akong targeton, ang gobyerno, yuta sa gobyerno. Huwag mo niya kapuslanan. Kaya mga bukid na nagbawa, except for the military reservation, adako kayo ng ilang area. Wala man das bukid. So na ako kasi ihatag na. Ihatag na sa tao, kaya muna yung problema na ito.
March 11, Lunes, Malacanang. Itinaas ng Pangulo ang ranggo ng ilang opisyal mula sa Presidential Security Group at 250th Presidential Airlift Wing. Pinarangalan din niya ang mga katangi-tanging kababaihan sa awarding ceremony ng Outstanding Women in Law Enforcement and National Security of the Philippines. March 13, Miyerkules, Isabela. Ginawaran ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte ng Order of Lapu-Lapu Rank of Kampilan ang 5 sundalong nasugatan sa mga engkwentro kontra Abu Sayyaf at New People's Army. Nakidalamhati rin siya sa pamilya ng mga nasawing sundalo sa madugong sagupaan. March 14, Huwebes, Davao City. Nakipagpulong ang Pangulo sa National at Regional Peace and Order Council kasama ang AFP at PNP. Dito ibinulugar ng Pangulo ang pangalan ng mga politikong sangkot di umano sa illegal na droga.
There can never be a valid argument to deny the public, the people of the Philippines at large, to know who are the officials who should not be there in their office. In this particular case now, those who are involved in the deadly name of drug trafficking.
Ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar. At ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
Malacanang denies allegations that President Duterte is a drug suspect coddler as it slams a former cop who accused the president. Presidential spokesman Sal Panelo said the motive of former Senior Superintendent Eduardo Asierto in revealing the president's links to illegal drugs is suspicious. Acerto claims the president was photographed with Chinese businessman Michael Yang and Alan Lim. He also accused the president and former PNP chief Ronald De La Rosa of rejecting an intelligence report about Yang's supposed link to illegal drugs. Panelo said Acerto's name was among those listed in the drug matrix released by President Duterte. He said Acerto may just be taking revenge for being accused of involvement in drugs. He adds, if Acerto wanted to expose Yang and Lim, he should have done so when he was still with the PNP. Panelo reiterated that President Duterte will not tolerate anyone, regardless of the stature or relationship with him, if he is involved in drugs. A labor group is calling for the computerization of the services of the SSS. Labor group ALU-TUCP spokesman Alan Tanhusay said members are having a difficulty availing of documents because of the amount of requirements, long lines, and other inconveniences. Tanhusay said computerization will make availing of benefits easier and faster. He said computerization may cost the SSS a lot, but this will mean more people can avail of its services. South Korean flag carrier Korean Air has announced new routes and additional flight frequencies beginning summer. Starting March 31, KE's flight between Incheon and Istanbul, Turkey will increase from 4 to 5 times weekly. On April 12, KE will launch non-stop flights between Boston and Seoul in cooperation with joint venture partner Delta Airlines. So Yoon Park, KE's Global Communication Team Assistant Manager, said the carrier's joint venture with Delta enables KE to strengthen its presence in the Trans-Pacific network. On April 22, KE will resume direct flights to the Irkutsk, Russia, and starting April 28, there will be flights to St. Petersburg. Meanwhile, starting June 1, the airline will offer a 5 times a week service between Incheon, South Korea, and Hokkaido, Japan. More than 1,500 internally displaced persons from various villages in Maguindanao have received aid from the government in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. The Ministry of Social Services spearheaded the distribution of relief goods and provided basic services to residents displaced by armed hostilities. More than 30,000 civilians have left their homes to safer grounds after hostilities between government forces and the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters or BIFF erupted last March 11. The MSS BARM also conducted a medical mission to prevent highly communicable diseases in evacuation centers. Sharif Agwak, Mayor Marup Ampatuan also ordered the Town Social Welfare Office to conduct a feeding program to children as well as adults. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, in Soksargen also distributed 6 kilograms of rice and 8 canned goods per pack to each affected family. The local government of Taraca, Lanao del Sur, turns over loose firearms to the military. Meanwhile, over 1,000 beneficiaries receive financial aid in South Cotabato. More on this and other stories from the provinces. From Miguel Hill.
The municipal government of Taraca, Lanao del Sur has turned over 11 firearms as the military continues its drive against loose firearms. Lieutenant Colonel Edgar Alan Villanueva, Army's 49th Infantry Battalion Commander, thanked local officials for turning over the assorted firearms. The campaign against loose firearms is a part of the military's efforts against members of the Maute Group and other terrorists. In South Cotabato, over 1,000 residents received financial assistance from the provincial government. The residents are beneficiaries of the DSWD Sustainable Livelihood Program and Unconditional Cash Transfer. DSWD 12 Regional Director Bay Zorahaida Taha says about 12.56 million pesos will be distributed for livelihood projects such as rice retailing, flour production, bakery, and dressmaking. They will also provide skills training to help them grow their business. Meanwhile, direct flights from Davao City to Doha, Qatar will be available starting June this year courtesy of Qatar Airways. The inaugural flight will be held on June 18, followed by the regular commercial flight on June 21 and every Friday thereafter. The Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines said safety assessment is still ongoing to ensure Davao Airport can handle the aircraft's specifications. They will also start using common user terminal equipment this July to accommodate the growing number of passengers. For the PNA Newsroom, I am Miguel Hill.
Up next, COMELEC reminds local candidates to remove their illegal posters until Thursday before the campaign period. The Philippine rugby team joins several international competitions in preparation for the SEA Games. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
The Environment, Tourism and Interior Departments recommended to close Boracay for 6 months.
To address issues such as illegal structures and faulty drainage systems that is affecting Boracay's prized beach.
The last time na nandito is 2017. It's actually crowded. Sobrang dami ng tao. Everywhere, makikita mo talaga bars and drinks and sa makalat talaga.
We had more cases of skin disease. We had more cases of diarrhea.
So nagkasama-sama lahat ng mga agencies, tiningnan ano ba ang plano natin sa Boracay, compliance on Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, at saka yung ating environmental compliance.
When they started demolishing, we saw that there was action, that they put their money where their mouth is.
Lahat ng nagamit na tubig ng customer, we collect it through our sewer lines and then it goes through a treatment process sa treatment plant.
It was nice that it happened. Finally, Boracay got the attention it is in deep need of.
I think a lot of work was done during the closure. The water is clear, the oceans are clean, there seems to be a lot of wildlife returning. We had for the first time in 10 years, we had turtles hatching on the beach a couple of days ago.
During the closure, you could see like the eagles came back and everything that we have had for a long time.
Pumasyal pa nga yung mga kondito udanding, galing na Cebu.
In the end, it's a good thing, yes. It was hard for us, but it was also a wake-up call.
The beach was cleaned up and is officially set to reopen on October 26th.
Wala nang kumakain sa beach, bawal nang manigarilyo.
Gumanda yung isla namin as in bumalik sa dati na ambience.
We teach kids about pollution, solid waste management, because they're the ones who will sustain all the things that we're doing now.
The COMELEC is reminding local candidates to take down their illegal campaign posters and streamers until Thursday, March 28th, a day before the start of the campaign period. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez said aspirants in the local positions must remove prohibited forms of election propaganda or face election offense charges. Local candidates include those running for a member of the House of Representatives, provincial governor and vice governor, member of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, mayor, vice mayor, and members of the Sangguniang Panglungsod and Sangguniang Bayan. The campaign period starts on Friday. Prohibited forms of election propaganda include those that are posted outside the common poster areas, in public places, or in private properties without the consent of the owner. Violation of campaign rules carries the penalty of 1 to 6 years imprisonment, removal of right to vote, and disqualification to hold public office. In our foreign news, popular Irish professional mixed martial artist and boxer Conor McGregor has announced his retirement at the age of 30. McGregor announced his retirement in a message on Twitter where he wished his colleagues well. McGregor is one of the most famous fighters in the UFC who fought 25 times, gaining 21 victories and lost 4 times. He won his first UFC title in 2015 and became the first fighter to hold 2 titles in different weight classes. McGregor left the sport 5 months after losing to Khabib Nurmagomedov in a brawl-marred fight in Las Vegas. The Philippine Rugby Football Union has lined up international tournaments for both the men's and women's teams in preparation for this year's 30th Southeast Asian Games. The Philippine Volcanoes men's team is eyeing to defend the gold medal it won in Singapore 2 years ago, while the women's squad is also keen to duplicate or surpass its bronze medal finish. The men's team will see action at the HSBC Cathay Pacific World Series qualifiers from April 5 to 7 in Hong Kong. They will also compete in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics qualifying tournament in Incheon, South Korea in November. The Lady Volcanoes, on the other hand, will participate in the Asia Rugby Women's Championships in June, followed by the Trophy Series in August. PRFU President Rick Santos said the players are all excited to see the results of their hard work along with the support from the local community. The Batangas City government welcomes the arrival of devotees visiting the Monte Maria pilgrimage site. Preparations are underway as visitors are expected to flock to the site this Holy Week. Here's our report.
Standing at the tip of Batangas Bay in Barangay Pangkilatan is Monte Maria, a pilgrimage site dedicated to Mary, Mother of Asia. Its centerpiece is a 63-meter image of the Blessed Virgin Mary, known as Mother of all Asia, Tower of Peace, at a hill overlooking the famous Verde Island Passage. As Holy Week approaches, the Batangas City government laid out plans in preparation for Catholic faithful and pilgrims who are expected to flock to Monte Maria. Mayor Beverly Di Macua said she has informed a committee composed of various departments and offices to usher in the surge of devotees. The Transportation Development and Regulatory Office will be deploying traffic enforcers supported by barangay tanods. The Batangas City Police Office will also deploy CAPs to ensure peace and order. Health workers and emergency teams will also be stationed at strategic areas. In view of the expected surge of vendors and hawkers, a common vending site will be established through the support of sectoral organizations that are encouraged not only to promote their local products but also increase their income during the Lenten activities. Meanwhile, garbage trucks will also be dispatched to collect trash starting Holy Monday, April 15 until Easter Sunday, April 21. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Cudis.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories.
President Duterte vows to sign the proposed 2019 national budget if it follows the Constitution. Malacanang refutes a former police officer's allegations of President Duterte coddling drug suspects. 31 celebrities are reported to be included in a watch list of personalities involved in illegal drugs. And COMELEC reminds local candidates to remove their illegal posters until Thursday before the campaign period.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Rom Dulfo. Good day.